Hello, my name is Jerome and welcome to my Cabalite station. Today I'm doing major surgery on my Cabalite K963. Yesterday I went to use it and I could not get any of the hydraulics to work. So nothing I could do would fix it, so I wound up having to take all the hydraulics out of it. So I wanted to give you a quick picture. Here's the hydraulic unit. This is the tank. This is the motor back here, and then all of the individual valve controls are right here. And the problem I had when I would look inside the machine in this tube here, there was a lot of air in this tube, and nothing that I could do could get the air out of this tube. I'm assuming, actually, I'm not going to assume. That was my problem. As long as air was in the system, I couldn't get the fluid to flow, and therefore nothing would work. So I took all of this out of the machine and inspected everything, and I manually filled this tube up with fluid, which was impossible to do with it inside of there because there wasn't enough space. And so now I'm going to reassemble the unit. This right here is the hollow, almost looks like a carcass of the K963, and I'm going to slide this back on the inside, moving out of the way all the little hydraulic connections. I like the way they did this because I thought I was going to have to disassemble all of the track parts in order to get this out, but they did a pretty awesome job of designing it for disassembly, and I guess if you have to change some parts out. Bam. That's what it took to get it back in, and the holes are lining up. So that's what I meant by they did a pretty good job of having this as one assembly. I'll probably make several videos about this just due to the amount of time it takes me to reassemble this. It would be boring to watch because it took me an hour to get it out. But I'll snap some pictures and I'll continue this video and put it up online in case anybody else has problems, and I'll show some major connections. So I'll pause it right here. All right, I have all the individual hydraulic lines connected. And now the next thing I'm going to do is reinsert the electronics and the battery tray. When removing the hydraulic assembly out of the K96 front end loader, there are 3 screws at the bottom that you're going to have to remove. The first screw is right here. Second screw is right here. Third screw is right here. And these will remove the front of the screws from the front plate holding down the hydraulic pump, hydraulic block, and also the oil tank. The oil tank is right above these screws. All right, I am back with good news, and not the way I thought the news was going to be good. First of all, I took the whole assembly out, the hydraulic assembly, which I showed you in the first part of the video, and filled the tube up, the clear tube, with hydraulic fluid. By the time I got it all back in, I had the same exact problem, and air popped into that tube again. So then I went online and tried to find ways to bleed air out of hydraulic system. I tried all the methods I thought should work, and they did not work. So I sent a message to Cavalite. I wrote them a message on Alibaba, and also SPXRC, where I purchased this unit from. And both of them responded, and one of them gave me the answer. Cavalite told me to drain the oil out and refill it slowly with the pump turning, and I had already done that several times and that didn't work. But SPXRC on Alibaba, he sent me a video of the remote control, and let me show you what he showed me. In his video, he went through the menu and he went to reverse. He went over to channel 5 and he clicked this to put it in this position. And that was my problem. While I was installing the speaker on Sunday, I was putting it in channel 4 and I was making the speaker work so I could turn it on and off with a switch. And the switch I put on channel 4. But somehow I must have also clicked channel 5 and reversed the pump. And after that pump was turning in the wrong direction, no hydraulics would work at all. So everything's working again. Let me zoom out. The minute that I flicked that switch, everything started working. And you can't believe how happy I was, because I spent endless hours trying to fix this problem and it just didn't make sense. So the Cavalite's back in business and I should be doing a little digging by this weekend. Work's got me too busy for the rest of these weekdays. But I always said I wanted to disassemble this to see what was on the inside and how it was done. Now I finally had a chance to do it. I don't hesitate to take my equipment apart because I generally feel confident whatever comes up, I can fix it. And I always learn something new. I learned a lot about bleeding hydraulic systems and how hydraulics work. So that just gives me more knowledge going forth in the future. And the thing that started all of this, let me show you that. All right. Right down here is the speaker. I wrapped it up in black tape. The speaker was in a housing which I was trying to force in this area. It was just too big. So I took the speaker out of the housing and wired it up in there. And so now, whenever I want sound on, I can just flick a switch. And I have sound whenever I want it. And the reason I want to do that is I always play with this and my excavator together. And so I'll dig with the excavator and this just sits idly by. And also when I finish with the excavator and need to move the mountain of dirt, I just let it sit and then I run this. And I don't want it sitting idly by for 10 or 15 minutes just making all that noise. I always have to get up and walk over and power this one down because the noise gets on my nerves. So now I'm able to flick the power on and off while I can comfortably sit in my chair, and the sound system on the excavator has the same thing. So that's my adventure with disassembling the K963 front end loader, and I hope there's something you can learn from it. And if you're having any problems or any other questions, just send me a message. If you like what you see, click like, and as I go through these adventures, I will keep you guys posted. Later.